Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's team call. I know a bunch of you were supposed to be on here, so I know you're going to be listening to this recording and getting the most out of it. A few questions that we got in advance of the team call today when we did our check-ins were, how do you deal with knowing that it works and believing that it works, but then that voice in your head that says, so does generally watching what I eat and working out work. So why do I still need to stay and be so disciplined? Why do I need to push through? Other questions that I got this week that people want to know is how do you keep from getting bored with your food, but still kind of stay on track and stay on plan? And the last question, what was it? Let me look it up here, that I got in advance. Was how to know when you're ready to go up in your weights or you're ready to challenge yourself like with a harder program and maybe even holding back. So we can start by, let's sum up. How was week 3 for you if you are doing ADD Obsession, or how was your week if you aren't?
It was good. It was a great week. I happen to love the 3x10, and I'm a little scared to go back to the 2x15 rep scheme. One thing that I am happy about is because I just watched just for a few minutes to see how she's doing the 2x15 rep scheme this week, is that as opposed to doing all of it through and then all of it through again, she's doing it like she changed the 3x10. So she's doing the group, each one 15 reps, and then you do the group again, and then you forget about those exercises, and then you go on to the next group. So I also wanted to see which weight she was taking out for tomorrow. So again, you're not going as heavy as you do when you're doing only 10. But it was scary and exciting. But knowing everything I did this last week, I thought I was going to be more sore with the 3x10 rep scheme that we did this week, and I wasn't. I definitely had some soreness. It made me feel really, really strong, and getting really excited and nervous for new moves.
Absolutely. And Tasha has been getting over being sick and other complications and is back here ready to go.
Just about.
We lost your face for a minute.
Sorry, no, my headphones fell, that's why. So, yeah, I'm still not perfect.
Nobody is.
No, but I'm physically not perfect at the moment. I'm slowly and steady at the moment is my game, my aim. Slowly get back on track with my nutrition, I think, is my first goal.
Always.
And then from there, try and work out what program I'm going to do. I'm still deliberating at the moment and thinking ahead.
For country.
I might do that. I might do some yoga. I'm undecided at the moment. I'm still umming and ahhing and seeing what my body's gonna give me.
Okay.
Give me the drive to do, I think. And
okay.
but
I was saying, just start something.
Yeah.
I will do. I was actually speaking with Lily this afternoon, and I was saying that I want to give my body one more week and try and focus just on nutrition this week, and then from there next week hopefully be back on track with
workouts.
At least a couple of days a week at the beginning, getting back on track with my workouts. And
good.
Have you been drinking? Have you been drinking your shakes while you haven't been feeling well?
Some of the time, yes. I've also. I mean, that's my first goal is really to get back with my nutrition.
And your daily Shakeology for sure.
Yeah. So as I say, that's my goal for this week, and I'm going to take it one day at a time at the moment.
Good. So let's talk nutrition. Yeah. Let's bring it on. You said you made a great recipe. Let's share. So I made amazing sweet potato fries tonight. Cinnamon, sea salt, olive oil, and hot spicy paprika. And definitely you have to portion those out immediately and then remove the rest of them because they are that good and crazy addictive. So I very smartly now put them in boxes for the rest of the week for 5 days. So I can look forward to having those as a yellow every single day. I also want to say that for all you men, you can tune out right now, but definitely Autumn was talking all week about having, your monthly visitor, and I did, and I definitely found staying on the eating plan more challenging this week. I think really mentally, and then I was just feeling a little more up and down. I was feeling a little more cravings, and I didn't really connect it because since I've been having Shakeology every single month for over a year, my periods are much better. Like I just don't have the same PMS. I don't have the same cramping. I don't have the same up and down anymore at all. And so I didn't really associate it with that until she said it, and I realized, yeah, that's why I was feeling a little moodier and I was resisting last week, like I talked about in the call, the portions and the way things go together, and I did it anyway. And the fact that I did it anyway, even though I was resisting during the week and I really had to work on like embracing it, made me so much more excited for this week 4 because I realized that the difference was just those little tweaks, making the bean salad, which I did ahead of time, and making sure that I had just that extra bit of prep done. I felt like made the whole difference with the plan feeling easy and exciting and good versus the feeling overwhelming was just the amount of preparation I had done in advance.
It's funny that you brought up. I never had like PMSing issues or cramping issues or anything like that, but I have noticed over the last bunch of months or a year, like even ever since starting Shakeology, I was always wondering how that would impact, let's say, my period or my moods or my this. Like I said, I don't really get the PMSy parts, especially when you're on the pill or anything like that, or the ring, like the Nuva ring in my case, whatever. But I have found that I can go many more cycles without having to take breaks, without having spotting or bleeding through.
Yeah,
actually, for me,
my
that was
period's
amazing.
half as long as it used to be. Half as
Right.
long. And I just feel less like it just feels cleaner. It feels like it's done and it's over with the less fuss than it used to be. So I definitely feel like that has been a plus. Also, part of that's the consistent working out. It used to be that that week was very difficult to get my workouts in, and it's just not like that anymore. It's just another day, and that's really a good feeling. But it didn't happen overnight. That was something that happened over a period of a few months. But then it hasn't stopped. Like it's really only continued to improve. But that's what it does in terms of your hormones. That's a big part of it, and also the superfoods and eating very cleanly. You just have fewer toxins in your body. The less sugar and less crap you have, actually, the easier your
penguins.
Okay, so. Next nutrition question was, anybody have like a good recipe this week that they've made that has helped them to not get bored with their nutrition, or are you in need of new recipes? Look how excited Ayala is.
It's fun. Somebody posted in the coach group that carrot cake. Now, okay, or carrot bread, or whatever you want to call it. It is not the way we would, like when we made zucchini kugel or carrot kugel necessarily for Shabbos. Like, not at that level, but for wanting to get in your nutrients as a pre-workout meal or on a day where you're more full and you don't want your red and yellow and green and teaspoon to actually feel like a piece of chicken and broccoli and rice. So I made it, and I made it in a individual, like, when you used to be able to buy those like individual like lasagna dishes.
Yeah.
So I made it in that.
Oh, it's so pretty.
This is one portion, okay? Because it is 2 eggs, which is 1 red. It's 1 cup of shredded carrot. It's 1/4 cup of raw whole oats. I mean, that's what I use. I use whole oats.
Yeah.
I actually put the oats in the blender first to make them a little bit more like flour then, because I didn't want pieces of oats. And then some cinnamon. I didn't put in the nutmeg because I don't like it. I put in a little bit of stevia. I put in some salt. and some baking powder, and you mix it all together, and then you spray the pan, you bake it for 20 minutes, and then you can put a teaspoon of nut butter or peanut butter or whatever you want on top. And this was just a nice, different thing. I had it once last week, and like I said, it's not for what it is. It's amazing. Like I said, we're not tricking ourselves to thinking we're having full fat, oiled margarine,
Right.
brown sugar carrot cake. But it was a nice, it was a nice idea. I was excited to make it again, to have that as an option, just a change. I make every week. I make the egg cups with the sweet potato and the spinach. That's really
So
good.
I have not made that anymore. I've gone really back to either the roasted sweet potato or a piece of spelt bread or sprouted bread with eggs with spinach in it, like baby spinach and a big omelet. Because honestly, I cannot wait to go up to Meal Plan C, guys. I am ready. I am so ready.
Really?
I'm
nervous.
not cheating, but I've been slipping in an extra egg white to my eggs in the morning. to fill it up. And again, I can't say I'm starving. If I was starving, I would go up already, but I'm just borderline there where I'm just waiting it out. I'm just ready to wait it out and get to Meal Plan C. Very, very much so. And that's also really motivating me this week, I have to be honest, is to just stick 100% to the best of the eating plan instead of like in 3 I really felt like I did more corn tortillas. I did more like other things that were lower on the list to make it more interesting.
Right.
And this week it's really about just taking the basics and making that delicious and yummy. I love the Aharoni seasonings and also the ones I bought from iHerb. And I've just been doing chicken and vegetables with those. And I did the sweet potato today, simple foods, but with better seasoning, like made well. And that it's delicious. And again, and it really feeds that
Did anybody else make anything else? Like, did anybody else besides me try the chicken sweet potato wraps in the mangoed leaves or anything?
I didn't try those. But I have two things that I tried, and then I have one question. And I'm in a really noisy place. I'm sorry, so I'm going to go back on mute as soon as I'm done talking.
Okay.
But first of all, I started making the egg cups. I didn't like the egg cups with the whole egg cracked into it. It was really rubbery. I started making them in ramekins and beating the eggs first, so that one ramekin is like the 2 egg. You know what I mean? Like it's basically double the size of a muffin cup. And I liked it so much better. It was like creamier, and I found so much easier to eat in the morning. So that's just one idea.
That's great.
Number 2, that recipe I posted.
With vegetables in it?
Yes, spinach. So sweet potato on the bottom. I actually had already cooked the sweet potatoes, and I was bored of eating a whole sweet potato. So I just cut it up, and it was basically like a mashed sweet potato on the bottom. It was delicious.
That's great.
So I did that. And then that recipe that I posted, I'm obsessed with. And I'm going to tinker it a little bit to make it really fit the containers better. But that mix of like ground beef, vegetables with quinoa, or you could do it with brown rice or whatever.
Right.
It's pine nuts. The pine nuts for the meal with the orange. Oh my God, it was delicious. I eat that literally, I think 4 nights in a row for dinner because it was so delicious.
I added the pine nuts when I made the sloppy joes from Pixie, which was a very, very similar thing.
Right.
You want to look at the portion.
What I love about this is it's like you take a scoop, you throw it in a bowl, you put it in the microwave, and you have dinner. Like you don't have to think. So I love that, and I made a bunch, and it's freezable, so I just froze little packages of it also. So that's great.
Fantastic.
The one recipe that I'm really, really looking for is I'm bored of my yellow. Well, you guys, we talked this morning about how I'm bored, but I'm bored of my yellows, and I've started with I do Ezekiel bread, which I love, and thank you. I had never had it before, and that was a great introduction. But I want I saw you put up quinoa porridge or something like that.
Yeah.
All the recipes that I've seen have other containers that I'm not eating in that meal. You know what I mean? I want something
just
for a yellow green combo that's like porridgey.
So what I would do is I would make what I do is when I make my porridge. So you want to cook the quinoa like you would regular quinoa, and then you add almond milk for your teaspoon, and you just let it cook down till it's much more of a and more water till it's much more of a porridge consistency. So you actually get a much bigger serving. than you would if you just take half a cup of quinoa.
So how much quinoa? Like it's like a third of a cup.
I usually make
quinoa, right?
1 cup of quinoa at a time. So 1
And
cup
how
of
many
quinoa
servings?
you would be 4 servings, right? Like usually
Right.
1 cup dry quinoa would be 4 servings cooked. Okay.
Okay, that feels like a lot of quinoa, no?
Well,
it is,
so
but it
makes a lot of
absorbs.
porridge.
Right. So the way I did it also, again, if you want to figure out the portion, was I made quinoa the way I usually make it, which is 1 cup of quinoa with a cup and a half of water.
Right.
Okay? And I made the quinoa that the regular way. Then, when I wanted to make it into porridge, I really wanted to figure out how much it was. That kind of cooked quinoa, you take the yellow container, you take a half a cup.
Scoop it.
So I scooped a half a cup with it, put it into a separate pot, put in like an additional half a cup at least of almond milk into it, and I added stevia, I added cinnamon, I added a dash of
It's
salt.
a great one for you, Canary.
And then it turned into so much more. It absorbed all the almond milk, and then you really saw it was still the same half cup quinoa, but I then cooked it more.
But it ends up being almost a full cup in your bowl. And then if you want to have like a green or something with it, so it depends. Like is that what you were saying? You wanted to have a green with it?
Yeah, no, it's more like I just want something that's a pure yellow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's a pure yellow. If you only use a half a cup of almond milk.
Right. So I'm going to ask quickly my other question just because I could tell it's going to get noisy in a sec. So I was looking for like a pancake type of thing that I could spread some peanut butter on. And there were these awesome recipes, again, were all like red and purple or, like the beast pancakes and stuff like that. So I want a pure carby pancake, but I don't know what proportions and what flours and like what I should be using for that.
So there's always going to be a red. There's always going to have an egg in it. Right. Pancakes need a rising agent.
So you could mix it with egg. You can get a green and a red out of it. I mean, you can do red, green, and yellow, but you don't have to have the fruit. You can mash a sweet potato, combine it with an egg and some oat flour, and then you have your red, your green, and your yellow. Yes or no, Lily?
Yeah, but also like the beast pancakes, the purple's just in the fruit you put on top.
Oh, is it?
No,
okay.
It's not. No, it's not.
No, there's banana in it, right?
There's banana in the beast pancakes, yes. The
there's banana.
Purple in it. Oh, wait, you don't even need the oat. If you mash sweet potato with an egg and almost like, it'll come out like a pancake.
I found these other pancakes that were protein pancakes, but they had no carb in them. I can't remember. There was something about. I'm sorry. I'm like standing outside. There was something about the the beast pancake that it had other containers that I didn't want. I don't know.
You should look at maybe the chickpea muffins. The chickpea muffins are like pure yellow.
Okay, that's on Fixate.
Yes.
Yeah, the chocolate.
All right,
the chocolate.
And they're chocolate.
Yeah, you put cocoa in it.
And they're chocolate, so that's amazing.
Yeah, the muffins that I make my kids is a can of chickpeas. Don't shake your head, Shira. My kids love it. I mean, literally, my 12-year-old son asks me to make it.
All right, I'm going to look those up.
Mint extract, they're chocolate mint. They're really good.
Yeah.
And those are yellow. Those are on Fixate, on BOD. Okay? And in the blog, the recipe, look up gluten-free peppermint.
Yeah, I can send you the recipe. Peppermint chocolate muffins, or even
right. So I haven't said any of those because I haven't felt like I needed that kind of food. But if I want just like something to spread peanut butter on, that's a good option.
Right.
Also, they have blender oatmeal muffins you can make. They do have an egg, but it's like 1 or 2 eggs for a dozen muffins, and those are also a yellow.
Right. I was just thinking also with the quinoa porridge, the cacao nibs might be really good in that because they would probably get a little bit melty in that.
For sure.
The pine nuts?
All right. I'm going to hop off. I'm going to hop off just because I'm running. But thanks, guys.
You hop off, but we're going to address the question that you asked earlier that you were talking about.
Okay, so I'm going to go. I'm just going to go on mute and listen. Bye, guys.
Good. Bye.
Okay. Fine.
So
okay. You want to address that question first? Does anybody else have anything else first?
No, go ahead. Go ahead if you want to hit it.
Okay. So Rena actually phrased the question very, very well. that she wanted to discuss. And I think it's something that was, really important to bring up, especially when you're talking about this being a lifestyle change. And we've all, many of us have been dieting very often in our lives and continuously and know some of the rules and everything like that. So, Rena, if you don't mind, I'm going to basically paraphrase or read a little bit what it's mostly about, are you getting bored of the nutrition or feeling tired of the nutrition? Like at some point when it's going well enough and you feel like, okay, I got this. I don't crave sweets anymore necessarily. And I really understand what I'm supposed to be having when. I know I'm supposed to be having more vegetables and proteins than I am carbs. And I know I should be adding the fruits in. So how much do I need to really be sticking to necessarily the containers or if I want to grab an apple, or like specifically also doing the time nutrition. I think that's where it gets more complicated, not just having the right container amounts throughout the day. But when you're doing the time nutrition, you want to say to yourself, I feel like having an apple. I feel like having a banana. Or I feel like having, a hard-boiled egg. And it's not time for the meal. Is that bad? Or how terrible can it be? Or am I going to be doing this, then for life? That kind of seems a little bit crazy. So, Rena, correct me at any point if I'm wrong with any of this, all these things I think are important things to bring up. Yeah.
No, so what I was going to say is I think that the beauty of, I'm loading right now as we're talking, the original 21-day fixed meal plan. And in the original 21-day fixed meal plan, which a lot of you are still starting with who are on this call right now, you're not doing time nutrition. So I think that there is something beautiful to what she created in that you have a ton of flexibility. You have a ton of flexibility. You know that, for example, if you are in plan B, let's say, right? So I know a few of you on this call are in plan B, okay? So you know that you need to have a certain amount each day, okay? Here we go, okay? Green is vegetables, purple is fruits, red is protein, yellow is carbs, blue is healthy fat, orange is seeds. I have lost over 30 pounds just following the formula, eating in plan B or C.
Wait, Lily, we don't see what I think you're
Oh, you're not seeing it?
We just see the the program materials listed.
Oh, that's weird. Hold on. Stop share. Let's see.
Just so you know, because it keeps flipping, if any of you notice that really, really hot guy that keeps on flipping on Lily's screen, it's in the exclusive coach group. There's this one guy who is so motivational, and he always posts without a shirt on. Because he has the most insane abs. It's just funny that's what your Facebook.
I don't see him. Where is he?
Oh, Lily, you want to go back to him?
I don't even know what you're talking about. Where is
he? If you share screen and go to Facebook.
Right. That's a woman on my Facebook right now. But that's an amazing picture. I'll show you that. This is somebody showed. Oh, you know what? Actually, that's kind of awesome. I'll show you this picture. This is the coach test group, guys. Okay. This is a woman in the coach test group right here. Can you guys see that?
Holy crap.
Okay. From March 2016, that's how she started. She started without time nutrition in 2 years, not overnight, guys, not overnight, over 2 years, okay? She went from March 11th to January 14th, 2018, okay? 2018 from 2016, not overnight. But look what she did. No surgery, no loose skin, no nothing, okay? Look at the power in her arms and her body. Now she's saying that this is what timed nutrition did for her. In 2 weeks, okay, in 20 days, 3 weeks of timed nutrition, she went from January 14th to February 3rd, okay? That is a big difference. That is what time nutrition does. It takes a program that works, that is totally fine and 100% okay to do, just focusing on what your portions are per day. It is totally fantastic to do that. However, okay, it is even more incredible when you're able to say, okay, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm getting results, but maybe I've hit a wall. Or maybe I want to start in the best place possible. I want to start in a place where I know I'm getting the ideal nutrients and I'm not making those beginner mistakes that, hey, even I did holistic certified nutritionist made, where I would have too many vegetables at one time throughout the day. And I wasn't absorbing all the nutrients that I could because I'd been dieted in my mind, thinking I need to fill up all the time with vegetables. I just need to fill up, right? I just need to eat more vegetables. And again, eating vegetables is amazing. What's amazing is also spreading those vegetables out throughout the day. And that's what time nutrition is about. It's about taking each of the food groups, and instead of saying, well, I really like to eat all my protein at lunch and I like to have a really big lunch or a really big dinner, you could totally do that and get great results and be healthy. What we're talking about is Beachbody gets in your head a little bit. And you go from caring about just losing a few pounds or losing 10 pounds or losing 15 pounds or losing over 30 pounds, okay, going from a size 18 to a size 10. And all of a sudden, somewhere on that journey, when for the first time in your life, you're actually getting stronger and you can actually do stuff you never thought you could do. Somebody grabbed my arm at the park today to tell me something. And Tasha got off, but she was there. Oh, no, you're there. And what she said, she's like, you have arms like a man. Like, and I don't have arms that look like a man's arms, okay? But when she grabbed me, there was muscle there. There was something there. It wasn't just a big mush. And she only associates that with a man. That only a man can lift their own groceries and carry them.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me. It was Friedel.
I know. I didn't say it was you. I said you were there, like when it happened. But again, it's something that there's a lot of our life that we spend if we spend time dieting, that you're absolutely right. You don't need to follow the time nutrition element to get great results and lose weight. You totally don't need to. But when you follow the time nutrition, all of a sudden you fully buy into this idea that I am more than just a number on the scale. I am somebody who is fit and getting fitter, somebody who's getting strong and getting stronger. And that woman in those pictures you just saw, does she look like she's worried about 5 pounds at the end there? No, she said she didn't lose or gain any weight in those last 2 pictures. It was all just muscle changing, just continuing to get fitter and healthier. And
I think it's also important to know.
Is going to take you. So again, going back, you can see the original eating plan. Okay, the original eating plan here. And hold on, are you seeing me move the pages right now?
I'm not.
No, okay, hold on. I have like another thing.
Okay, while you're fixing that, I'm going to say one thing because
Go for it. Yeah, here it is.
Autumn was addressing. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, keep going. Start talk.
No, I'm saying Autumn was addressing, like some people said, well, do you only do time nutrition with 80-day obsession? And she said, no, like if you look at the plan, the one thing you have to make sure is no matter what workout plan you're doing is that you're in the right bracket and you do the right calculation for that program. Then you can look at that bracket, then go to the time nutrition plan within 80-day obsession to see how she breaks it down. But the point is, no matter what program you're doing, what she's teaching by the time nutrition is, like you said, is spreading out your nutrients throughout your day. If you have a 4-cup green salad and think, okay, I'm getting in all my vegetables, you're not getting in the nutrients of 4 cups of vegetables because your body can't absorb all of that at one time. But if you split up those 4 cups throughout the day and you split up your proteins throughout the day, you are maximizing the nutrients from every food group that you're eating.
And above that, if you actually go into the original 21-day fixed portion fixed program, which is the basis for Country Heat and all of the other programs that use the containers, if you look at how she divided up the meals, guess what? She divided them up very similarly to how she does when we talk about time nutrition. 1 green, 1 red, 1 yellow. Okay? And seeing how she does that, I think gives you a different idea kind of how things can go. And really that was always the intention, but it's important also to have flexibility when you're first getting started and not to overwhelm yourself. When you're first getting started, you want to work on embracing the idea that each of these containers is getting you to your goal of not only losing weight, but the most important goal of being an energized, happy, well-fed person. And that's why she always says, if you're starving and cranky, then you're not eating enough. You need to go up a bracket and stick to the program. And I think
with that, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, based on what you were saying also, like, give yourself a break and also to take time getting used to it. It's not only then just when you're starting. Like I was explaining this to Rena when she was asking her question, because I said, you don't always have to do it exactly. You're right. You've done this for a long time, and you know what you should be eating. What's a good way to have your food, and you don't necessarily always have to look at the container. I said, for me personally, it's a little bit of a slippery slope because you don't always have to use your containers, and you can eyeball it. After time, your eyeballing it starts changing a little bit. And after time, you're right. You can have a treat and you can have something, and you're not going to be gaining weight from that. And life is about balance. So it's about making a decision. And I realized I thought I had plateaued completely for
Right.
5 months. And I realized I didn't plateau. I was using the wrong word. I maintained for 5 months. I went away to Europe in the summer for 2.5 weeks. I ate what I wanted to eat over the Chagim, like on Yom Tov. I had all this time where every Shabbos I was eating a dessert. Now I wasn't eating as much as I used to eat. I was still working out every day. So I was kind of tricking myself into saying, oh my gosh, I plateaued for 5 months. What am I doing wrong? I didn't plateau. I flippin' maintained for 5 months. That was amazing. In my life, in my entire life, if I wasn't losing, I was gaining. And I didn't gain. I didn't gain while having ice cream, while having crepes, while having dessert, while having Shabbos every week. So you're right. There is so much of it that is in us that we can do. But then when I said, wait, I want to now break this plateau or not, I want to now not maintain. Now I want to go back to losing some more. Then you go back and realize, oh, what is a portion of salmon? Let me measure it out a few times so that I now see what is a portion of rice instead of eyeballing it right away. And some things will work in either direction. Very often, I'm surprised by, oh, look, I should have been eating way more quinoa in that half a cup than I was eating. And then sometimes I was really going over a little bit on that, on the chicken or whatever.
Absolutely.
So there is room in life to say, yes, healthy people know how to eat. But it's also, there are no secrets about this. When you see thin people and in shape people in the gym, they are not going home and eating cookies. And I know I have a friend that does not eat a lot. And throughout the day, I think she has an iced coffee, a croissant, and then dinner with her family. So yeah, great. She gets to have an iced coffee and croissant every day. She's not strong. She's not healthy. Her bones are not strong. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but you need to take it for what it is also. And you don't need to be eating your containers all the time always. It depends what your goal is. If right now your goal is for 80 days or 3 weeks or whatever program you're doing, you are looking to achieve something specific, whether it's a building muscle goal or a weight loss goal or a health goal, something specific, then yes, then this works.
And I would say for me, so I have a bar mitzvah coming up March 1st, right? You guys know. And so also for me, it was breaking that 5 months of, yeah, sure, like it's working and I'm getting stronger and all of those things were working, but I wasn't seeing the change I had been seeing. And that's because I did stop measuring. And again, I will say in 80-day obsession, there are a lot of days that I am eyeballing my reds. But that was also part of really last week. That the only time I eyeball my portions is when I haven't prepped it in advance. When after Shabbos I prep my food for a few days, like a few of my meals, it's easy to take out the red container. I don't resent it. If I've just made something and then I think, oh, I need to go find where I put my container, and that's where a little bit of forethought is helpful. And again, and also getting better at watching it and then deciding, okay, like, I've got it, and then looking and saying, I felt a little off kilter last week. I saw there were holes in my system. This week I'm committed to making sure my containers are out on my counter. And no, I know in Weekly Obsession they talked about bringing your containers with you. I have never brought my containers with me anywhere. Again, like that's a level. Maybe I'll get that obsessed in phase 3.
But there are also things that you don't need a container for. We all know 2 eggs is a protein. No one's measuring their eggs. 150, 200 gram yogurt is a protein. Okay? A slice of Ezekiel bread is a carb. So there are some things that if you want to grab or make things easier that you know without necessarily measuring. I don't take an apple anymore and cut it up and put it in a container.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
So there are ways to take it in through life and to embrace it as opposed to fight or push against it in terms of your goals. If you're looking to achieve something, then you can follow it. If you're saying I'm looking to be healthier and follow this,
We may have to jump back on, guys, because we have less than a minute left. So any final question, and then I need to know if we all want to come back on, or we found this very helpful and we are good. Anyone take a vote? Anybody want to get back on?
I have time to come back on if somebody wants to come back on. Does anybody else have any
Anybody else
questions?
want to come back on? Raise your hand.
Okay, you don't have to. Don't feel bad.
Fantastic.
But does anybody have a last minute question that they want to ask?
Literally less than a minute left. So if not, ask in the group, ask here. Feel free to raise your hand. Yes. Oh, lower hand. Got it. Okay. Anybody with any questions for us? I know I'm available for a little bit longer if anybody has specific questions they don't want to go over here. Otherwise, I am looking forward to seeing us all kick ass this week and take ownership of our goals and what we're willing to do. Get obsessed, whether you're doing a little obsession or not, about what it takes to get to your goal. And that's, I think, what the biggest lesson of the program has been so far is, it takes me being prepared to see the changes that I've seen in only 3 weeks. I see changes, and that's very exciting. And if I want to keep seeing changes, then I gotta put the effort in and be excited every time to look for the new recipe and to make sure I'm staying interested and to make sure I stay engaged. Because Efrat, in one of our groups, last thing, posted a great saying today. She said, when your motivation and your inspiration comes only from positive places, oh, I'm so excited for this event, everything can kind of blow your sails. But when you can find a place of like deep, real desire to change, something that even comes from an internal place of pain, that you're willing to do anything to avoid. And you're really willing to get obsessed to make a change in your life when